It is now 8:20 Kenyan time. It's time for us to go to Tech Central right here on Morning Express. And joining me this morning is Naftal Nyabuto, who is a founder of M-Zawadi. Good to have you.
Thank you.
And we also have Ignatius Wanjera, who is a partner for M-Zawadi. And let's start right from the basics, Naftal. What is M-Zawadi?
Thank you. M-Zawadi is a loyalty platform. Loyalty platform means we are giving merchants and actually businesses an opportunity to be able to offer rewards to their customers. And that is exactly what M-Zawadi is. It means we are allowing customers to be able to get rewarded, and we are allowing merchants to be able to get M-Zawadi points based on the retailers and the businesses that they people to have.
Are these more like loyalty points? The more I visit a store, the more I get rewarded. Is it that kind of a system?
Yes, it's a loyalty. It's loyalty points. The difference between this and the current solutions we have in the market is that this is a cardless loyalty platform. Cardless means that we no longer need to carry cards to go to retailers or shopping for us to be able to get points. Meaning retailers can directly give you points on your phone. That is the difference with the current solution. And I'm calling it a platform because unlike the current systems, it is universal. Universality means that every retailer who wants to, for example, start rewarding customers, what they only need is we plug in our system into their systems, the current systems they have. For example, they have a point of sales through which you go shop. We just plug it into their current systems, meaning that they no longer need to have any infrastructure to put into place. That is the difference between M-Zawadi and any other solution we have in the market.
All right, and remember at home, what we'd like from you is to know whether it's a hit or a miss. If it's something that you would venture into using, whether you are a merchant or you are the end user of the merchandise, would like to know whether it's something, whether it's a hit or a miss. But now you've talked about it being integrated into the system. Is that regardless of the system that the person has?
Yes. What we have done is we have done what we call an API, a middleware. It means that it's any system that you have. If you have any point of sale, for example, in this country, there are so many softwares, point of sale softwares based on the business they're having. So what you have done is you have created a middleware that is able to integrate to universally any other system that you are currently using in your business.
All right. Let me bring Ignatius here and find out how does that actually work? How is it that it's able to integrate into any system? Because given every institution or every supplier probably operates a different system for their own reasons.
Okay, so what normally happens with M-Zawadi, we have done a middleware, a standard middleware that you can plug to any point of sale system. So basically what I'm saying, in a middleware, you can, there's no system that can operate in isolation nowadays. So with M-Zawadi, you can plug in any point of sale system, and if you don't have a point of sale system, you can just use an app. To be able to reward points, and you have your portal, you can always check your reports and stuff.
Okay, so what is the technical details of how now you install your system or that app into whoever is going to be a user, the end user? And by end user, I mean the person who is selling, not the buyer.
Okay, so what normally happens in the first place, if you don't have if you don't have a phone for that matter, if you just have a point of sale system, we come to your system, and then what we normally do, we'll actually check if it can work with our API. So we'll actually connect with our API, which will be able to connect to our backend servers, and then from there you can have the logic whereby you can actually calculate your points, and from there
for the benefit of those who may not have a very technical knowledge, what is API?
It's an application programming interface. It's actually a middleware that sits in between the two systems.
Okay.
So that's basically what I'm saying, an API.
Okay.
Because nowadays there's no system that normally operates in isolation. There's a middleware between the two systems, so you can always share information between the two systems, the two different systems, so to speak.
All right, Naftal, let's look at now first of all, let's start with the person selling.
Yes.
The one who wants to have a loyal customer.
Yes, that's right.
What's the reward system? Because we know the kind of reward systems that we have. You get maybe X amount of points for this amount of money, which during, if you want, at any time, you can either exchange it for goods. At other times, those points are multiplied. And maybe like now when it's Christmas, you'll have some outlets multiply and they give you double for them. How does this one work? How do I reward my loyal customers?
What we do is we're giving you a backend interface through which you're able to manage your loyalty. So what that means, you are able to determine what type of discounts you give to your customers. The first thing that you do is you set how much is, that's an example, the value of shopping 100 shillings. Are you giving 1 shilling, 1 point for every 100 shillings, 2 points for every 100 shillings? It's you to determine for your customers. So you set that. You also set the redeeming value. The redeeming value means you might say every time you come redeeming, every 1 point is equivalent to 2 shillings, or 1 point is equivalent to 1 shillings, whichever that you want. It means that every merchant has the freedom of determining what type of rewards he wants or discounts he wants to give to the customers. So that is a discretion of the customer, of the merchant. Okay. When it comes also to that, there is also an extra value there. With M-Zawadi now, we have created an interface whereby the customer, the merchant, can be able to do inter-industry coalition. Inter-industry coalition means we have partnered with some multinational companies, which now we are giving access to merchants to be able to reward their customers to almost 4,000 brands across the world. What that means is, instead of just redeeming in your local supermarket, and you can bear with me that most people don't even redeem in their local stores. You have points for a specific store, you don't redeem why they're not giving you an extra, but they don't give you options. So what you have done is that partnership. It means now, if you have points for a specific store, you are, once the store agrees to partner with our brands that we have, and then you are able to take coffee with it elsewhere. You are able to use it in an airline. You are able to practically
explain it. I go buy, say, for my shopping for the month at X supermarket.
Yes.
And then I feel I need a cup of coffee. I can go to X or Y coffee house and use the same card, or rather use the same phone, because you said it's cardless.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's an interface that's on the phone.
Everything's on the phone.
Use it there and redeem that.
That's what it means. That's what it means. What is happening is, loyalty is a liability to most businesses.
Right.
And you realize that some businesses are really have accumulated unredeemed points, which really actually has to reflect in the balance sheet at the end of the year in terms of unredeemed liability. So what that means is that the businesses now have an option of allowing their customers to go elsewhere, wherever they're going, not only in Kenya. This is a multinational thing. They can go to Europe, they can go to US within specific stores, and they can be able to redeem the value equivalent of what you have in a specific store. Yes.
Okay, Ignatius, it sounds very, what did I call it? Very huge in terms of how you run it.
Yeah.
Do you have a company that's running it? Is it just the two of you?
Let me maybe explain that. M-Zawadi is a company. We have about 8 employees.
Okay.
We have our servers which are in Europe because we didn't want, the cost of infrastructure right now, everything has gone to the cloud. So we have our servers in Europe, which we have the cloud servers which are managing the whole system, and we have partners. For example, in terms of inter-industry coalition and everything, we have partners who are doing all the clearances in terms of money, transferring money from one store to another. If you are, for example, if you have gone to a local store and you have redeemed in Europe, how will the Europe be able to recover the money from a local store in Kenya? So we have all that partnerships that is able to plug into our system, so that we have, and we thought that is the best way of managing our system, so that we make sure that we can be able to do so much, but not alone, but with partners also.
Okay, let me come to Ignatius and maybe run me through, if now I am a merchant, how do I actually, what database do I use? How do I get my loyal customers onto my database and then begin, rewarding or at least collecting points?
Okay, for the first time, if you're a merchant, of course, you have to do a registration. Yeah, you have to come to us and register to us. Yeah, so after registration, we actually now give you the credentials. Those are the credentials now you'll use to access your backend, to be able to set your points, to be able to set your redeem logic, and also to be able to set your earn logic. So basically what I'm saying here, so after you have done that, now it will depend. If you have a point of sale system, we'll do an integration. But if you don't have a point of sale system, we'll just use an app, whereby all you need is just a smartphone. Yeah, you need a smartphone or a tab. So in this case, I can just show you how it works.
Okay, maybe you can just show it to that camera there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, so what I'm saying here, you just enter the amount of money that someone maybe has bought something. I will say like 2,500.
If you can just hold it towards the camera so that we can see what you're doing. 2,500, Yeah.
So, and you enter now the recipient's phone number.
Okay.
So in that case, let me say, 22. I'll use your phone.
23
082.
Okay. So all you need in this case, first of all, is their name
Yeah.
Actually, not the name.
and their phone number.
No.
Just the phone number.
Yeah, just the phone number. Yeah,
The phone
that's
number is the card.
That's-
Now,
the
becomes
phone
like the
number actually is now
identity.
your
Yes.
card, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and then maybe you can put your receipt number. Yeah. So once you put the receipt number, then you can now post the transaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You see, transaction posted. Can you just confirm with your phone?
Okay. So at the point you've posted the transaction, he receives a
Yeah,
message.
he receives. Yeah, his wallet is automatically updated.
Okay.
Yeah, his points. Yeah, you can even just check from his phone. Yeah.
All right. Now, in terms of keeping track of the points,
Yeah.
are they sent to a database on your phone? And I'm asking this in case I lose my phone. How do I retrieve my? How do I get my points?
Okay, all your data is actually kept in your cloud. It's just like losing your SIM card. You know, if you lose your SIM card, you've not
You
lost
still
all
get
it.
the number.
Yeah, you still get the number. So it's actually the same thing. Yeah, so you all have your details. All you need is just to have your phone and to log in, because everything is actually stored in our cloud servers. So basically, this is now my my account. You're able to see it.
That's the user account.
Now this is the user account. So before you go for your shopping, because we prepare before, of course, you go for your shopping experience. So you have several deals listed there. You're able to see them. Yeah. So we're actually giving a chance to our merchants to be able to advertise their deals, their discounts and stuff. So before you go your shopping, that's why you'll check. And remember, when you're doing your registration, yeah, you are actually now allowed to set your preferences, what you like. If it's technology, if it's clothing, and if so, that we don't send something that's intrusive to you. We only send you what you're interested in, right? Yeah. So there we go. So are you able to see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. So you can see all the merchants are listed there, all the points that I have from different merchants. Yeah, they are listed there. So it is 20, 30.
Okay, now, how do I get to know the people who are in your network? Because I may buy, like I'll use the same example, I may buy whatever I've bought, my grocery from this supermarket, then I walk to a coffee shop. How do I know who's in the database?
As a merchant. So what you do is that the moment you register, one of the things we give you is a merchant code. Merchant code is like the normal agent number in M-Pesa and those kind of things that identifies you or differentiates you from merchant A to merchant B. So the moment I earn points from you, our server is able to see this merchant, these points were earned from this merchant. So on your backend, the only people you are able to come to your reports, your data report in your database that we are giving you access to, are the people who have earned points from you. What happens here is that the points are not universal. If I earn points from 5 stores, each store has its own points, meaning they don't mix up. My wallet has different stores based on the merchant code that we have, so that when you are going to redeem, you redeem based on per store. So what happens is, if I come to you, for example, I've come to redeem, the process is simple. On your shop, we are going to give you a merchant code. The normal way you go for M-Pesa, you see an agent number. So give you a small code where if I come in, I just say, I want to redeem, tells you there's an agent number there. Just put the agent number, the points to redeem, that's all. So automatically that agent or merchant receives a message, just like you leopard M-Pesa or something like that. You see a message, Naftal Nabuto has redeemed these points worthy of this. So your system automatically is able to subtract the points of the person has redeemed. So automatically it means that when I go to any store, I don't need to cram the agent numbers or merchant codes. What I need to go, it's like you are withdrawing a normal M-Pesa transaction.
Okay. Coming to you, Ignatius, and this is now regarding still on the merchant end. Are there minimum amounts that, because you see, you'll find you have multinational stores that have a very high number of clients that come and go. You have others who are possibly new starters, startups. Maybe it's a lady who's selling, I don't know, clothes or shoes or handbags. Is this just for the bigger market, or do this smaller SMEs, if I can call them that, able to benefit from that?
Okay, so when we created M-Zawadi, actually what we put in mind is that we wanted to create a loyalty that is one size and fits all, which means it can be used by anybody. Yeah, so regardless of infrastructure, because if you have to do loyalty on a high end, because you actually need a lot of infrastructure, you need maybe servers, you need computers and all that. But in our end, we are telling you, you can just use what you have. With just a normal smartphone, you can start rewarding your customers. Yeah.
Okay, so it can be used by anyone.
It can be used by anyone. If it's Mama Mboga, if it's those guys on the high end, it's a one size that fits all.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other question, of course, then before we go now to the user, to the client, not the merchant, is the cost to the merchant who is now using this particular service. Is it based on size?
Yes, it's based on the size of the business and the number of point of sales. What happens there is you didn't want to create a universal or a premium fee that will end up disfranchising the smaller merchants, and who is the main objective of our solution was basically those ones. What it means, yes. So, for example, we have smaller salons and barber shops who are using this. So, for them, we are charging them as low as 1,000 shillings per month, because our solution is what we call multi-tenancy solution. You are actually renting from us. We call it software as a service. We don't sell a software. You plug in and use our service to offer loyalty. Yes, so it means you're paying us a monthly fee. There are those high-end merchants. We have those ones of chains of, for example, stores. We have pharmacies and all those kind of people. We look at the number of point of sales we want to integrate this thing to that they are using, and we work at a cost. So our cost is as low as 1,000 and as high as 10,000 shillings per month, on a per point of sale. That depends on, of course, all the factors that I've just mentioned.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's come to the now the user, the person who's actually collecting the points. How do I register? All I need to say is a phone number.
Okay, so we have different models of channels. So what we'll simply do, you'll just go to the App Store and then type M-Zawadi. Then you'll be able to
download it.
Yeah, download the app. Those are for app users. But now for those ones with the feature phones, you'll hit a USSD menu, which is 415*100#.
What's the difference between the phones?
The difference between the phones is actually with now with a smartphone, you can easily access it using an app. But now on the feature phones, those mulikamwizis, that's how we call them. You're able to go to the
the concept was that.
Yeah, the concept is the access to accommodate all the channels.
Everybody should be able to.
Everybody should be able to access loyalty. So you just hit *415#, then you'll be able to access the menu. But if you have a smartphone, then just go to the App Store, download the M-Zawadi app, and start using it.
Okay, then once I've gone to the store, once I've downloaded the app and I've gone to the store, what happens?
The only thing you do is...
You do your registration, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Once you register, it's one-time registration. That's a very key. It's one-time registration. So once I go, even I can register from my house. I don't have to be in any store. So registration is not attached to any store. What I need to do is do *115*100# or download the app. Once I sign up, I go to any store. Once for example, you are shopping in a supermarket. Once you reach the point of sale, they have done all your shopping. Now the only thing they ask you is telephone number. So you give them telephone number, meaning you don't need to have carried the phone. What they only need to do is to have crammed your number. That's all that you need. So the phone is not attached to receiving points. You can register elsewhere, you just need, and then now when you move to any other store, you don't need to register again. You just give, that's why I mentioned it's a universal. You just give your telephone number. It's just like you have a universal card. Are you saying that?
Yes.
So that is the only thing. And what they're mentioning is that under the USSD, meaning regardless of any phone you have in this country, so long as you are under the networks, the main network, it means you can register. You can redeem, you can transfer points. A very critical factor that I didn't mention there is a transfer of points. You know, what we have made it possible is that we don't just offering loyalty. We want businesses to acquire new clients. So if I come to your business today, I earn points. Tomorrow I don't want to take coffee in your place or come to your salon, but I have a friend or a relative who wants, for example, to get drugs from a specific pharmacy. What I do is transfer my points, just normal like Bonga points, to you. You go to that pharmacy, you redeem for drugs. When you redeem your drugs, you know what I've done is I've introduced to that pharmacy a new client. So what you have done in that is not only just loyalty, we are just also helping businesses to acquire new customers. So all that can be done through that small phone that is using a USSD, or you can use your smartphone.
All right, Ignatius, the registration, because that's another area that becomes very sensitive. What will happen is that nowadays we're very vulnerable to many ways of being attacked, and by attacked I mean it could be somebody who wants to steal your data, could be somebody who wants your phone to market, and maybe you don't want all those marketing things. So in terms of registration, what details do you take from me to register?
Okay, so as you can see from the app, all we just need your first name, your last name, your ID number, and maybe your county, and maybe, and you'll give us maybe your preferences, what you like. Yeah, the things that you like, the deals that
Like
you
your
like,
hobbies and things that
your
are of
hobbies and
interest
all
to
that.
you.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. Just as I mentioned earlier, we don't want to push something that is intrusive to you. We only want to give you what you're interested in. Yeah, that's all that we gather.
Okay.
Nothing else. Yeah.
All right. And once you've got that information, how secure is it?
The securities, maybe need to mention what security we're using is.
Yeah, actually, so once you have given us I think on our back end, yeah, your data is safe. Because even the guys that work on our, they cannot be able to see it. There's an encryption, a two-way encryption, from both the app and the back end. So your data is safe. That doesn't count on us.
Okay, but how do I have that guarantee that it is safe? Because, like I say, I could be vulnerable to anyone getting my number and my details and information. And even details like, you see, we may look at details as name and telephone number, which could be readily available.
Yeah.
But I can also get marketers who are looking for my shopping habits, for example. They will look at the data and they can tell that this is a product that I always buy. And I don't want to be bombarded
Intruded, yes,
with a lot of information from God knows where, with new products that they want to sell to be, so that I, you know.
There's one thing that we have done with the mobile subscribers, mobile networks, and they insisted on this because there's been a big issue where people receive messages from where they don't know, is that we have to make sure that we offer an out of a stopping a code, where if you receive a message that it's not, you don't know where it is, you can be able to stop from this message coming in. And our second thing is that every merchant that logs in with us, we have to make sure that we take we check authenticity of the business. That's the first thing. The second thing, that we give you what we call alphanumeric, meaning a sender ID, so that we know any message that goes to anybody without a person having subscribed to that business, for example, is we are able to know the origin of that message. So that is one of the ways that mobile networks have done to ensure that people don't end up misusing other people's data. That is very key. Another very important thing, as we are just doing servers, we don't have access to your information, because your information is only accessible to your merchant or to your business. Our work is just to offer service. So what we do is we don't intrude, or we don't have access to the business. Once you register through a specific business, for example, that means that your credentials are actually encrypted and only accessible to that merchant, meaning you can only receive a message from a person or a merchant that you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how wide is your network of those that are using this particular service? Because you've mentioned that it's not just local, it goes international. How long have you been in operation, and how wide is your market?
We launched this platform in March this year. It's now 2 months, and amazingly we have been able to grow very fast. I think it's because of the uniqueness of the whole thing. In terms of usage, our network, we cannot be able to know in terms of usage, in terms of the users. But in terms of merchants, we are only working in Kenya. Because because we have to log into the mobile companies. So if you go to Uganda or for any other country, you have to work with that local. Yes. So currently we are only based in Kenya, and it's only that the users of those businesses, some of the, for example, we have tour firms which are giving loyalty to their users, and some of the users are international clients. That's why we had to look for a way of getting these guys so that they don't have to come back to Kenya to
redeem their points
wherever they are. So we have tour firms are using this. So our business, in terms of sector-wise, actually we are cutting across any. If you are in business, regardless of any business, you can reward your people. And a very critical factor that is into this is issues of data. You know, data is very expensive. Getting data is about your customers is the most expensive thing. Installing a system for data business intelligence is very, very expensive. And we have integrated that to our system. Meaning, if you were using our system, one thing that you'll be able to do, you'll be able to know who your customer is. You can be able to know in terms of demographics, gender, age, their shopping behaviors, and such kind of things, information which will be very difficult for most smaller businesses to be able to access. So it can act for product service industry and product industry, meaning and for online. Actually, we have now gotten a lot of businesses which are online businesses. We have now integrated to online shopping carts, where people now, you can earn loyalty by just shopping online. So that is the critical factor that is our solution is really getting a buzz out there.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing, of course, now that you go into the international realm, which Ignatius, I'll bring you in on this, is the legal aspect. There are certain laws and regulations that govern companies within Kenya, but you go to an international platform. How are you going to merge the two?
Okay, what we're going to do, actually, we can't just go into a market if we don't know the legal procedures that are in that country. So we'll actually sit down, maybe with our legal team, and maybe our legal team will be able to advise us on what we are supposed to do. Because with the legal matters, you see, we are not kings. We are also to consult that matter. Yeah.
When it comes to redeeming, currently, the company we are working with, the multinational company we are working in, is actually now working across the globe in terms of gifting or giving e-gifts and be able to, and that loyalty, creating that close industry coalition thing. So they already gone through the legality. That's why I said we have to work through companies which have already gone global, and they have the legal different aspects of legalities within the different countries.
Okay.
And that's one way we have done. But in terms of us moving to another country, that's all different dynamics altogether, because we have first to make sure that we stabilize and make sure our solution is super in Kenya first before we try to explore in a different
And is this
country.
an idea which you came up with, or is it something that you've just cut and pasted and maybe localized it?
One of the things that you come to realize, and most of the users and the companies, which are one of the big corporates right now who are actually in the process of integration to their businesses, is this is the most unique solution globally. Most of the solutions globally, when it comes to loyalty, they're using apps. They're using mobile apps, and that will not work in our Kenyan dynamics, the Kenyan dynamics. And they're using smartphones which are able to scan the barcodes and such kind of things, which in our market is very dynamic. And what we did is creating a solution that uniquely is nowhere. Because now what has happened is, if you go to a shop, you don't need to have your phone. Any other solution you find which is mobile-based loyalty, you need to have your phone, you need to open your app, and then be able to scan, and then they get your points from there. So our solution is you just need to offer your mobile number. And that universality actually has created a unique feature that has made it possible for any business in this country to look at it and say, this is very unique. Actually, let me just give you a baseline that we were just doing a cup. We were just going to get a taxi, normal taxi. And that's how our idea came up. And this guy decided to give us a free ride that day just because he had bought a new cup, because we are customers. And then we say, this person is offering loyalty. You move to town, you find guys giving movies, they give you 4, they give you an extra one. Yeah, so these guys are offering loyalty. The only thing they don't have is a structured loyalty, where now they can be able to use a structured loyalty and be able to offer more, better discounts to their clients. And then we thought, now, this is something we need to come up with. Then we thought out from the low end. We didn't think from the upper end, because the upper end could afford infrastructure of cards. But if you look at it currently, the cost of one card in the market is $5 to make these cheap cards when you're using in the supermarkets.
The loyalty cards.
The loyalty cards, you need a printing machine, which is costing about 100,000 shillings one. You need the readers to read the card, and you need the software, the modules. The software company is giving point of sale. They're selling very expensive module for loyalty. So you see, the lower business end cannot afford this. You're also looking at the users. How many cards you might be having in your wallet. Can you imagine if from every shop you have a card, every shop you have a card, every place you go they're giving you a card, a loyalty card, all those cards. Then we said, we need to act by finding a solution both from the user and the merchant end. That's how we came up with a universal solution that is mobile-based, that can eliminate the infrastructure cost of businesses, at the same time eliminate the inefficiencies and inconveniences that cards bring to the users.
All right, Ignatius, is there a registration fee if I'm registering?
No, there's no registration fee. All you need is the app. I think it's just your bundles, and the SSD. It's less than a shilling, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all that is involved.
That's all that's required. So how do you make money out of this? Because at the end of the day, the merchant is giving out points. The person who's coming is not registering, is not using a fee, and at the same time they're drawing points. That leaves you. How do you make your ends meet?
Our ends, there's one way, major way, it's the tenancy, with the rental fee the merchant is paying us per month. As I said, it's a SaaS model, meaning they're paying us per month as long as they're using our solution. That is our major revenue that we're getting. And the second revenue that is coming in is when the merchants will want to use our SMSs. We have integrated a free SMS platform within the backend. So if they want to use our SMSs, for example, we give them SMSs which we are
to send promotions and things like that.
Yes, and of course, the client is also receiving an SMS. When you get points, you receive an SMS. When you redeem, you're using an SMS. But the client, we have removed the cost to the users totally. There's no cost to the user. An SMS fee, it's not the user's cost.
It's not one of those SMSs that you're charged for receiving?
Yes, we don't charge. Okay. So what we try to do is, why charge a person you want to be loyal? You know, that is the question. If today you lose your card for a supermarket, they'll go tell you, fine you 1,000 shillings for replacement. For being loyal. You are punished for being loyal. Yeah. That is the whole thing here. So what you've done is make sure that the user end, because you as a user, I'm imagining I'm a customer. Why will you charge me? And you are giving me points. I mean, every cost should not be on my side. On your side. Yes. So the business is gaining by me going to their business. So they should also again find me. So that is the whole aspect. Okay. And where do you see this business in another maybe 5 years? What's the growth plan for it? Because once you've registered a number of companies, is that it? No. The growth, there's a very wide growth that is needed in the whole thing. Actually, we are currently working on a number of things. One of the things that we have worked on is to make sure that we had a lot of features. That's the first thing. We had a lot of features so that we can go to basically any industry in this country. And then after that, we are able to scale up to different other countries, because the solution is an African solution actually. It might not work also in Europe because they have the networks, they have the internet, they have everything they need to use their apps. But in our African network, it means we have to use the phone as a basic solution for loyalty. So we are looking at that, and then we are diversifying in terms of products, but around M-Zawadi, not featuring to any new product, but around M-Zawadi. For example, we are working with Matatus currently, and amazingly, it's a solution that is working for them, where they give you loyalty and you redeem loyalty as airtime. Wow. Okay. So it means the more you ride on a matatu, the more airtime you get. Yes, and or bundles. Okay. It means you realize that the cards that Matatu introduced in Kenya are not working. And why? Because it's the culture of Kenyans. We love our phones. We don't want to be told to use a card again. Yes, and that is why we have to look at the behaviors of Kenyans. And you see, they are very unique. So our thing is being accepted very, very well. We have a bus company, for example, did not know, okay, I want to make sure that people receive receipts when they ride on my matatu, but people will not ask for receipts, or these buses, for example. But how do you make sure they ask for receipts? Then, right. That's what I mean. Okay, Ignatius, what are some of the challenges that you would say have been major challenges in setting this up? Because I'm sure you've probably faced quite a number of them.
Okay, we have actually faced a number of challenges, and one of them is actually the integration with the point of sale systems. Yeah, so actually this challenge we had actually to overcome this challenge. That's why now we came with an app, because you'll find that most users they don't have the point of sale system. So in that case, they can only just use an app if they want maybe to earn or redeem points. So another challenge is there's also connection with the internet, because actually now with the APIs, they actually rely on the internet connection. Yeah, so that's maybe the only challenge is there. So if the connection can be there, then don't think it will.
So would you be able to reward people who are up country? Because again, there you'd have a challenge when it comes to internet penetration.
What we've done in up country, we have small businesses in the up country, for example. What we have told them is that we have actually come up with a way so that the points, once I shop, we use a local database, which is domiciled within, and then we tell these merchants what you do in the evening. Just buy some bundles, connect your computer with the bundles, then it synchronizes to our server. So that helps, because currently there's some places you find that they don't have 3G, but they have 2G. At least they can connect. With the users, you see, as I said, they don't need the internet. Users don't need the internet. They can use a USSD. But when it comes to merchants or businesses, what they only need is just the reward. In the evening, when they're closing their business, give 30 minutes, connect to bundles or modem, and then it's able to synchronize, update the system to our servers, so that we are able to cater for those businesses which are in places where they don't have a good infrastructure of internet to have it a whole day.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll have to wind it up right there. That's Naftal Nyabuto, who is the founder of M-Zawadi, and Ignatius Wanjera, who is a partner. And let me see, we do have some people who have sent in, and we have somebody here who says, this is Johnston Johnston, he says, yes, that is a hit. It's definitely something I would use. Thank you very much for Tech Central. So we'll have to wind it up right there. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. And for those of us on KTN Home, this is where we wind up Morning Express and wish you all a fantastic day, but do stay tuned. But those of us on KTN News, stand by. We've got News Track coming up very shortly.